Rock the Ripple. Rock the Ripple. The Rock the Ripple podcast with Narita McInnes.
Let's do this. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Rock the Ripple podcast. I'm your host, Narita McInnes. As always, it is awesome to be here with you. Thank you for tuning in. And today I'm diving into the sticky note that just reads expectations. And the reason that this one has come up is because I've been having a few different conversations with people recently, and also in listening to different people talk about expectations and values. It's really got me thinking about how when we get let down in life, when we break up with someone, they break up with you, or a friend doesn't show up in the way that you would hope that they would. It's not, there's so many different things, like something didn't turn out the way that you thought it would. It's not that the people have let you down necessarily. It's the expectation you had around that person or the situation. And I think that's so powerful to think about. It's not necessarily, like I said, the people or the situation. It is the expectation, what you expected to happen. So it's not saying don't have any expectations in life, but it is if you have an expectation of how you expect someone to show up based on your values, based on how you show up, you will get let down because not everyone thinks like you. Like I was saying to someone the other day and heard someone else say, is that there's 7-8 billion people on the planet, and not one single person thinks exactly the same. Not one single person. We all have our own ways and thoughts. And yes, we might have similar thoughts and values, but we don't all think the same. It's impossible. We all have our own understanding, our own values, our own things that we tune into. So that right there is huge in itself. But so the fact that if we are expecting people to show up how we do, that's actually an impossibility, because they can't show up how you do, because only you can show up how you do. And when we have expectations around how people should be in a relationship, or how they should be, well, everything is relationship. So as a friend, as a lover, as a mother, father, pet, pet maybe. Sometimes the cat will come up to you and give you love, and sometimes it won't. Sometimes the dog will. Dogs are great, aren't they? They usually give you lots of love. But cats, dogs, whatever. But it's the expectation that we have and that we hold that is broken. It isn't the love that's broken. The love is constant through everything. It's the expectation that we have around how we feel people should show up, how we feel situations should be. And if you have this expectation and things don't work out that way, then how you choose to handle that is also a reflection on how you show up for yourself, and based on your values, your triggers, your everything. And if something does, if something does let you down, if something there does show up that, has triggered you or made you feel a certain way, then that right there is something there showing you that there's something there to be healed, or to be looked at, to be seen, to be given love to. So, yeah, I just wanted to jam on that a little bit today. I know that there's going to be more coming through, and maybe I'll talk about it more in another episode, but I think I just wanted to plant the seed for all of us, including myself, around expectations and around the fact that, when we are going through something, or if we have an expectation on other people, really it's an expectation of ourselves. Really, it's how we would show up. We're expecting people to be a certain way or do a certain thing. And if we have those expectations, and we can be disappointed. We can be disappointed because really all we have control over is ourselves and how we show up and how we want to be in a situation. So if we're able to let go of the expectations of others, we're also letting go of the expectations of ourselves, not in a way that we don't expect to reach our goals or do the things that we want to do, but in the sense of letting go of the expectations of how people should show up. Let them be who they are. Let them be, because, at the end of the day, they can only be who they are, and you can only be who you are. And if you're trying to have them be a certain way, then to be honest, you have to look within and go, well, why am I trying to control this scenario? Why am I trying to make them be a certain way? And really look at it. And sometimes it's the stuff underneath that we have to look at. It's about being honest with ourselves and becoming more aware of how we are. And if you're someone who is always focused on how everyone else is showing up, but you're not looking at how you are showing up, that's a perfect place to start. To go, okay, I'm not going to worry how other people are showing up. How am I showing up? How am I being in these scenarios? What are my own expectations of myself? And just to look at that as well. So, yeah, like I said, just sort of throw that one out there, and I'll no doubt talk about it again in future episodes. But I'd love to hear what that's brought up for you, what you've taken from that, if it sparked any aha moments. It did for me when I first started hearing. I think it was Dr. Demartini. He talks about values and how if we're judging people based on our own values, we're always going to trip ourselves up because we are operating from what we think is right, but just because that's how we should show up, and that doesn't necessarily mean that your son, your daughter, your friend, your lover, they should show up in the same way that you do, because their values are going to be different. What they value in life may be different. Some people value, he gives the example that he doesn't value going to the gym and getting buff and doing all that stuff. That to him, that isn't one of his core values or what he values in life. And yes, he does the exercise and what he needs to, but it's not his focus. He's more focused on teaching and learning and researching. So someone who is always going to the gym, who's getting buff, who is focused on making sure his macros and micros and calories and all that sort of stuff, that's his focus. If he is to judge from his value system what this person over here, Dr. Demartini's doing, it's going to clash because they value different things. And that's not saying that Dr. Demartini doesn't value health. Of course he does. But where he values spending his time and what makes him tick is doing the research and looking into things. So, and teaching and what his stuff. So you can, if you're judging others based on your value system, you will have your expectations, or you will judge in a way that, of course, how can you? It's like when you can't judge a person in year 4 for not being in year 10, you can't judge a 90-year-old for not being 12. They were once 12. You can't judge a person for being where they're at and what they value, because that is who they are and what they value in that moment. It's their choice. So when we're judging and when we're doing that sort of stuff, we're actually judging ourselves. Oh, well, actually, that's not how I would do it. Well, of course it's not how you would do it, because that's not you. You're not that person. So, yeah. Anyway, kind of jumped on a bit more of a rant there, but hopefully that makes sense and it's coming through all right. Sometimes, I never know where I'm going to go with these chats, and I like that because it means that whatever's supposed to flow through will, and I just trust that it will be what it needs to be in the moment. So anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of the Rock the Ripple podcast. I love hearing from you in the comments and in the DMs. So please feel free to leave a comment under the video if you're watching this, or head to my website at naridamckinnis.com to share a comment there, or jump to the show notes and click through to leave me a message that way as well. So, and wherever you're listening to this or watching this, if you haven't already, please subscribe, share it with anyone you think might be interested in these little old chinwags. And yeah, as always, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to catching up with you next time.